What up, guys? This is Jody, your commissioner, and this is the Whiskey Rebellion. And currently, we only have two bartenders outside of myself. That's okay, though. The other ones are slack asses, and they'll be on here shortly, I'm sure. If not, shame on them. Mostly David. We despise him. Anyhow, with all of those type of premonitions going on in the world and all of the craziness here of 2020, I want to welcome you to the Barcast. And I'm having actually it's because of Mao. I'm having some Colonel Taylor. He got a sample bottle today from his beautiful bride. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. Yeah. And but I seen the post yesterday, I guess. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's solid, and I was sitting there and I was going, man, I have some Colonel Taylor. I need to go have some. And the funny thing is I was actually on base. See, some of you guys might notice I shaved. I was on base today, and I did not even stop at the exchange. I'm like, I literally have too much bourbon right now in my house, and I can't even find something I think I might need, So I was like, maybe I could get some Woodford, and I was like, I have 3 bottles. Okay, that'll work. Maybe I'll get some Bell Mead. And I'm like, I got 2 bottles. So, but anyway, it's always nice going there and getting tax-free. That's pretty cool. But hey, Rob, Mal,
how the other half live, Robert?
What's that?
Just saying to Rob how the other half live.
Yeah. Well, Rob, on the other hand, gets everything at like stupid prices.
MSRP, man. That's all.
I know. Well, see, that doesn't happen here in Tennessee. We're literally next to the state and do not get that. I was talking about that today with one of the officers over at the base, and he's a bourbon connoisseur as well. Obviously, for anonymity aspects, I'm not going to say who his name is, but we were discussing bourbon. He was telling me about going on the trail and this, that, and whatever. He's like, it's just so expensive to buy bourbon. I'm like, oh, I know it is, but thank God it's not Scotch.
Right. Scotch is ridiculous.
Dude, I seen somebody post the other. Yeah, I seen somebody post one from what's it called? Costco's. $49,000. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Like who? It was like a 60-year-old Balvenie.
Mm-hmm. Right. 67-year Balvenie. Yeah. I was like,
yeah, I saw that one.
I'm like, that's just gonna smell like really bad skunk to me. I just can't do that.
I've seen. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a decanted.
Hold on, time out. We got a celebrity on here.
No.
That's my girl right there. I wish you'd show up more and Billy less.
That can be arranged.
Hey, I'm okay. Hey, I'm down with that. Even if you just want to dial me personally, I'm okay with that too. So how are you doing?
Great. We just got through work and we had a little neighborhood marketplace, so we've been selling stuff all day.
Yes. So what are you having tonight there, Billy? You have anything to drink?
I'm having a little Knob Creek.
And what about you?
What is the walk? What do you call it?
What's the one you got from
21?
Yeah.
That's the one. What is it called?
Walcott, I think it's called.
Walcott.
Yeah.
Yes,
Walcott.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It's good. Something different than my regular, because my go-to is the Bullet.
You like the Bullet? You like the Bullet?
I love it. That's my everyday drink.
I could have went and got some Bullet today. Dadgummit, I missed an opportunity because they do have that at good price.
See?
And
there you go.
Look at that.
There you go. That's my favorite right there.
It's a tattoo edition. Have you seen the tattoo edition?
The tattoo edition.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's got some air in it too. So all right.
Oh, yeah.
And listen,
you've got to let it breathe. You've got to let it breathe.
Yeah.
And listen, she will come home with Bullet without me even asking or saying anything. And she don't get the small one; she gets the family size.
Yeah, isn't that the economy size? Isn't that well, it doesn't have a handle on it, but it is like a half gallon for sure. I've seen that. Actually, I think Costco has one that's like a full gallon, but it's in the Bullet shape. and you're
Uh-huh.
like, what? How do you have to get a basket for this? How do you carry this out? You know,
I go to Costco and grab it right in my hand and walk out.
Yeah.
that's because you're putting all those criminals away every day. You got them tough hands, my little dainty paws. I'm like, I need a basket, sir. Can you help me here?
Very nice.
So, Mao, what are you having tonight?
I am first time drinker of Garrison Brothers.
Garrison.
Yeah, I
Nice.
want to try that.
So
Who
yeah,
makes that? Who makes that?
It's out of Texas. I know that.
it is. Yeah, it's in a place called High, Texas. It is solely Garrison Brothers. It's not bought in spirit. It's all locally sourced grains from Texas, apparently from around the High area, because I was reading up on it. And it's their own distillery. It's their own distillate. It's the 2015.
He's wearing the shirt.
2015 straight small batch. It's a 94 proof,
Oh.
so something nice, and it's not the lowest of low, but it's not a high proof. It's a 3-year-old. That's the first pour. I've never actually sipped it yet. On the nose, it's all right. It's very very oaky, like brown sugars, caramels, and what have you.
Brown sugar. That should be another drinking word, brown sugar.
Absolutely.
Because I absolutely love some brown sugar on anything, pretty much. I really do.
Very different palate to the nose. Very strong with oak. Very smooth. Doesn't really give you the burn. We were talking the other day, Jody, about feeling the inner heat down here with a high rye.
Right.
Doesn't give you that, but you can certainly feel it all the way down, in a good way.
Right.
Nice long finish. Oak all the way through. You get that woody oak all the way through. Dead smooth. Dried fruit, maybe a little bit of cocoa, chocolatey kind of aftertaste in the finish, but nice long finish, mid to long finish.
So for a 3-year, where would you rank it? Because it's not quite a bourbon. I mean, I guess it can be a bourbon, but it's not quite what you would expect in a bottle and bond.
Second sip got a sweetness I didn't get the first time, which is nice. Solid 7 for now.
Okay.
Hey, and listen, Mal, listen, I don't ever want to see you looking that proper again in your little picture you posted. You look like you wouldn't be associated with us. You look like a banker or something. Either a banker or a gangster, one or the other.
I was going to say, dude, even the gangsters would dress smart, they dress sharp. So
yeah, I know.
Rob, I know you're having a cocktail tonight. What are you having?
Well, I started with a cocktail. I'm doing a little apple cider old fashioned.
Oh,
that sounds good. I might have to look that up.
Squeezed apple cider from a local farm. I used a little Sazerac rye, some orange, and you can see the Luxardo cherry in there, and that's it.
Nice.
I am
Very
going
tasty.
to post some of those. I'm going to post some of that in the because that would be a great. You know what? We couldn't figure out what we wanted to do tonight for a show. I think that would be a great idea. It's fall.
Holiday cocktails.
It's fall. Yeah. We're going into like next week is a week. Yeah, is it Thanksgiving and stuff? What would we drink? What would you? And by the way, next Monday, a week from today, I should be Dr. Lamont. So
congratulations.
Or Dr.
Dr.
B.
J.
Dr. J. That's what I'm gonna go by. I'm like the more, I don't know, powdery colored one. But so yeah, it should be. We were slated to do it in person, but because of some of the COVID outbreak, the numbers are going up and stuff like that, it's likely it's going to be moved to a virtual defense, which is fine. That means I don't have to. It's like my everyday. I don't have to wear a suit from here, here to the waist, and just look comfortable.
Hey, am
Nice.
going to once I finish off my old fashioned here. So in my hunts this week, I
I've seen that.
picked up a little legend. So I'm gonna sip on that a little bit later.
I have been looking for that, to be honest with you. I seen that a year ago. And I guess we'll say it was on Whiskey Bourbon Scotch Enthusiast page. I think I'm saying that correctly. I think it's in that order.
Yeah.
But I seen it on there, and I was like, I'm not familiar with this. And so I went on a search for it, and never came across it. But I see people posting it about this time of year every year. But I do want to talk about that.
Fred
what?
No,
What?
Fred No from Jim Beam. That's his.
Yeah.
And he's the master distiller.
He also
then
is the
the
one
guy
who does
from-
the little books too. It's his
Yeah.
recipe on the little books as well.
And then the guy from Suntory over in Japan is the blender. So it's a blend. But
Like the little books.
Shinji Fukuyo.
That's our
Who next?
shot at some of us know a little bit of Japanese, like konnichiwa, komarigato, stuff like that. And then there's some people who are like shishi Kazuma acquisition. I think there's a Steve in there.
Rob's okay. Rob's okay with sashimi, nori.
Yeah. I'm good with all that stuff.
Yeah. Stick with it.
Good bowl of pho. I'm good with that.
And I used to live in Japan, so the first time I remember when I first moved there, when you walk into, like, definitely in the Tokyo area, and you walk into an establishment, and they're like, konnichiwa. I'm like, I didn't steal anything. I literally just walked in here. There's nothing. And obviously I didn't know any of the language at the time, but they were yelling. And it was like, I don't understand the tone. Why are you yelling at me? It's like, all right, can white folks not come in here? I mean, I don't know what's going on. Now, some places they do have like that, and it's funny. I never felt so discriminated in my life, though I'm American, So they literally have, on definitely north of Misawa, which is one of the northern military bases. North of Misawa, there's a town, Misawa proper. And anyway, you go out in town there, they had these, look like Pokemon or Yujimon, I think was the other one, like stickers on the door. And it's like this blonde hair, blue eye guy with a flag shirt on. So like he would be definitely a Trump supporter. And with the circle and this line through it. And I'm like, wait a minute, first of all, that looks exactly like me back then. All right. And I'm like, I'm American. I'm coming in this place,
Oh, Lord.
And so as I come in there, they're like, no Mexicans here. No. I'm like, yes, I'm sitting here. And they're like, no Mexicans.
Oh, no.
Dude, we're not dirty. We wash our hands and stuff.
Jody's finna start a war.
Again.
I would make friends and influence people.
I do the same thing though when I was in England. They didn't have like these, like it wasn't that. It was like you walk into, like, when I was actually in Ireland, but you walk into a place and they're like they're somehow better than you, and you're like, you do realize none of your wars you would have won without us. I'm just saying. And the one time you took up arms against us and then tried to do it twice,
It ended badly.
it didn't work out so well for you. So either we can be BFFs or just realize I'm better than you.
Let's just see what you're missing out on, dude. We got cheap scotch.
Yeah.
You may have cheap scotch, but I don't like scotch, so I'm not really missing anything. And
Yeah.
I can get bourbons that you can't. Ha, ha, ha.
There you go.
I'm not about to
Wow.
stop something like that. So
So
We talked about that last time. Go ahead, Billy.
he did.
So let me ask you guys, since the holidays are
Can you
like,
spell that for us?
Listen, listen. I got somebody right here who can handle you. Take it easy, tough guy.
I know I know she can.
Oh, listen. I it's better yet. I'll have my wife talk to your wife. You don't want that trouble.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You don't
I'm
want
sorry,
that.
Mr. Breedlove.
So, do you guys for the holidays, or do you feel like you do more mixed drinks, or add something to like an eggnog, or do you prefer still a straight on the rocks or neat drinks?
I think
'Cause
that's
I
a great
love to drink during the
question.
holidays.
Actually, I called you out yesterday on the VIP chat. You like to drink at breakfast.
Yes, I
I even showed my wife. I couldn't wait to show her when she was gone all day doing her hair doing something with her hair. I don't have this problem, so I don't know anything about hair, but she was doing like some stuff with her hair. And anyway, I was like, I wish she'd hurt and get home so I can show her this. This is hilarious. You know, I mean, I guess I could have screenshotted it and sent her and said, "Hey, look, this is Billy's breakfast." But she noticed the same thing I did. She looked at it and she's like, "Is he having bourbon for breakfast?" I'm like, "That's what I said."
yeah. And listen, I had the whole glass. With breakfast.
Did anybody else notice that Jody said bourbon when it was Gentleman Jack?
Actually, I didn't say bourbon in the VIP chat.
So he
I
did.
did.
He goes. He goes,
Jack
so
Daniels. You're having Jack
he
Daniels?
goes,
You got a hangover? Or you just don't. You want to kill yourself? What's going on?
no, you know
Are you
what I did?
scumming?
I looked over on the counter and I said, okay, what bottle's about to be done? And the Gentleman's Jack was on its way out. So I figured, let me just go ahead and put it out of its miseries. It was sitting there. It was first in line, so it went.
Oh,
There's a
wow.
little gentleman.
Yeah.
But it's the steampunk one.
I like that bottle. That's a cool looking bottle.
Yeah, that's why I went for it.
I just don't like the substance that's in it. It's too sweet for
Yeah.
me.
Hey, and Rob, I did put a feeler out for the Sinatra for you when I was at the store yesterday.
I actually have one out for you as well on the Sinatra. My boy's looking for it right now for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, but I will be honest with you. It's on its way.
Uh-huh.
You know, since March, I've been waiting on Weller 107. So, you know.
Oh God.
Way too much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I do, but you know, I will say this: I don't have a drink or breakfast all the time, but I remember when I was working in Vegas, opening up a PF Chang's, and never got to see Vegas itself because we were just underground working all day, all night, never
Didn't miss
stopped.
anything at all.
Love
Yeah,
openings.
I didn't miss a thing. You're absolutely right.
Just a
But
bunch of stunk.
yeah,
You know,
So
when the Grinch,
as-
you know, in the song The Grinch, when he goes stink, stink, stunk,
yeah.
he's in Vegas at that point.
Yeah, but in Vegas, it was a real common theme to have a drink with breakfast, and not just like a Bloody Mary, but it was like a real drink. I was like, wow.
You know, it's
You know?
funny. Well, first of all, let me clarify. I did mean those words about Vegas. So for our Vegas listeners and watchers, I still love you guys and still watch the show. We got some really good ideas, and some of our stuff may actually be funny. But your town smells horrible. Hookers, smoke, and just nasty heat. All right, that's what it smells like. I'm sorry. Personal preference. Been there like 40 times. Stinks. Anyway.
Wow.
I mean, I still love you guys. I want you to follow the page, but I'm just telling you, it's fact. I think there's actually a clone for the Tramps called Vegas. Anyhow, so moving on. It's funny that you bring up the I mean it. But anyway, you bring up the whole drinking at breakfast. I rarely, if ever, do that at all. Period. All right. However, my mother, she was on vacation with us, our holiday, as the English folks say it. She was on vacation with us, and she was like, "Are you pouring a drink at?" It was like 10:50. All right, you pouring a drink in the morning? And I looked at her. I'm like, first of all, I'm on vacation.
10:50 is not the morning. That's nearly midday.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I said. So that was my second one. I'm like, my second point is, it's no longer breakfast, and the third point is, the kids aren't even up yet. All right, they're teenagers. They sleep till noon. That's kind of like the thing people say. They sleep till noon. All right. So if I want to have a bourbon I put it in my little glass to keep it cool down at the beach, you know,
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And for me, I think it's still all about moderation. But I always like to have a drink if I'm having steak and eggs. I always like to have a drink in the morning with it. It's just like steak, eggs, and a bourbon. I mean, you need the three of them together. Absolutely.
Okay. I, I've occasionally drank in the morning. Just if I've been away on vacation and I know I'm just gonna spend the day just being silly, I will definitely. Oh, Mark, you at the airport, bro?
He's
He's in the plane.
Yeah, he is on the plane. Look at that.
Mark, listen.
Hey, real quick. He's telling us to be quiet. Are they doing the safety thing? Hey, if you can't put the seatbelt together, beat yourself because you're stupid.
He can't
And if you
talk.
crash into the water from somebody who used to fly for a living, you will die. Period. Wow, that's a big dude. Does his shirt say NWO?
It's actually the word Seton. It's Seton spelled backwards.
Seton spelled backwards.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
it's
dyslexic. I should know this right off the top of my head.
it's a street in DC that a buddy of mine. This is a buddy of mine's design.
Is he the street?
He grew up on the street.
He grew up on the street.
Or did people grow up around him?
He grew up on that street. But yeah, it's
I'm
not
just playing.
this
He
one.
seems like a nice guy. So is he one of your buddies?
Yeah, he's a musician in DC.
Hey, let him know that that Vegas smells horrible.
He's getting in trouble for being
Pray
on his
for me.
phone.
I'm praying for you, but hey, is
This
it
is short.
so? Turn the camera around and show the picture of the person telling us how we need to buckle our seat.
Yo, be careful. I'm gonna get Mark kicked off the plane.
That's okay. If he gets kicked off the plane, that makes us go up in ratings.
Yeah, it does.
You know, I'm pissed that I'm not in first right now.
Well, I'm more pissed that she's not even attractive.
Oh God,
Like I watch Hallmark movies, and that girl is not. That's not a cute one.
not at all, not at all.
No. If she's watching the show, I mean it. So hey, is your friend gonna get on the show with us?
Oh, he's not here.
He's literally
solo.
sitting beside you.
No.
He was-
He was in DC. Yeah, I don't know these folks.
He
You
was
said he's
talking about
from the
guy
street,
next
and
to
you knew him.
No, he's the shirt that Mark has on is the street that he's talking about. Joey
Oh,
was talking about the shirt and the
I was
guy
talking
next
about
to
the
you.
dude next to you.
Oh, I have no situation.
Because he's like a ginormous man.
Oh Jesus.
This is awesome.
He's got a horrible connection on that plane.
Yeah.
And he hadn't moved in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got to go.
There you go. He may come
He
back.
did not. I asked him if I said, it looked like he had an NWO shirt on. He goes,
I
is
think
it from
it
the?
was.
He was
I
like,
actually think it was.
he was like, is he from the street? And he said, it's the whole street.
Thank you for your cooperation.
He thought you were talking about the sweatshirt he had on.
No, Mark is not a big guy. I mean, he's a big guy, but I like the guy sitting next to him, big guy.
So first you're gonna get him beat up, then you're gonna get him kicked off the plane.
Hey, if that happens, ratings go up.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can't take one for the team, that's a you issue.
I wouldn't
Hey.
worry about this one.
But that hey, Billy, I'm sorry, Mark. I was actually talking about the guy beside you.
I got it now. Yeah,
To your
I got you
right.
now. No, that's not.
See, like you see
I'm
what
with
my
you.
shirt says, be good to yourself. Like
I'm trying.
that side.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I'm just saying. When you showed that picture
Hey.
earlier, when you're doing like this, I was like, you have the entire street sitting next to you. You're right. That guy. Yeah,
Literally.
right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there.
That's a whole lot. That's a big.
Yeah.
That's a really big situation there, man.
Yeah, it's like the entire security force for Jay-Z in one person.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean,
I just
I
left
mean,
Chuck
I
Grab.
don't. I mean, I can talk all kinds of nonsense, but he's nowhere near me.
At
Boy,
least
Mark,
this-
when you
this
got
situation-
friends like that, I tell you.
I know, right? Hey, look,
Hey,
this
hey,
situation.
if we can
it
get somebody
couldn't-
kicked
it
off a
can't move
plane-
so much anyway.
If we can get somebody kicked off plane, we're going to be trending #1 on Facebook and also on Instagram and also on YouTube.
And the 10:07 news and the 11 o'clock news.
We won't be on those news. Mark Lewis will be on those news.
What's your flight number, dude?
What's your flight number?
And they're gonna be like, this is here's a picture of of his co-conspirators, and we're all gonna have our mug shots.
I don't have I didn't tell him to do anything. I can't help him. The giant man set on him or beat him up or whatever. That's not my fault.
Right.
I had
The
nothing
latter-
to do with it.
The latter would be the likely.
To sit on you.
Yeah. I'm not
I
worried
believe
about
that.
the
I
first
mean,
one, but the latter.
I seen him. I was like, that's the reason why when you said the street name, I was like, I think it's an NWO shirt. And you were like, it's a street name, where he's from. That's the reason why I kept saying, like, it's like, did people live on the street or is he the street?
That's an entire block. That's not a street. That's a block.
Whoa.
Thank you for finally agreeing with me. So we got all the way to, that was like a 10-minute conversation. We finally got to the point, this guy is ginormous.
That was a zip code.
So, hey,
code.
so what's the
That's
zip
the
code
zip
for,
code.
so you said you're in DC. So what's the zip code for DC?
200 and fill in the blanks.
All right. So is he the half? Like, you know, when you see sometimes when they'll have like a pizza and a half, is he the half? I've always wanted to meet the half. That's the reason why I asked.
That's some funny shit right there.
Half
Listen,
the city.
we're well on our way to a cable show, I tell you.
Oh,
We should already be a cable show.
Oh man, we should be negotiating contracts this time next year, easily.
Or in a cabin in the mountains.
Okay.
Because we're never going. Hey, by the way, Kenya, we're never going to the Dirty Rabbit. I am not going.
Yes, we are.
But you're coming to my.
I'll come to your house. I'm not going to the freaking.
Okay.
We've already got that planned out. Me and you are going. I'm gonna be with clothes on, but we're gonna lay in bed, and he's gonna bring us breakfast in bed. But I am never going to the Dirty Rabbit. That doesn't sound like a place for me.
That's
Well,
fine.
Billy's not going to be in any kind of fit state to cook after the night out that we've got planned at the Dirty Rabbit.
Listen, you keep thinking you have a choice, Jody. You don't.
No, I do. Trust me.
When you wake up,
It doesn't even matter if I had handcuffs on that you acquired from your wife. It's still, my wife would be like, you had a choice to do this, and you chose wrongly.
and listen,
I didn't.
when that
So I got black eye.
conversation happens, like you told Mark, I won't be my problem because I'm not anywhere near you.
Did
So
his
when the
plane
wife is
crash?
beating you
What's going
across
on
the
over there?
head.
Uh,
There you
Oh, there
go.
he is. Like all of a sudden he pops back up. It's like, I'm here, guys.
this legend is
Oh
really
God,
quick.
you guys are too much. So let's get
Well, this
back
is the
to
most fun I've had today because, man, I've
Yeah.
been doing numbers, and then I was allegedly at drill, and I've been doing numbers and all that stuff all day, and I was just, because I've been working on my chapter 4 of my dissertation, and my eyeballs hurt, everything hurts, and I'm just over it. And I was like, my wife was like, so what are you gonna do tonight? I go, well, you know, at 5 o'clock I'm gonna do my show. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I'll go take a bath. And I'm like, that's cool. And so I'm sitting here thinking, this is the most fun I'm gonna have. And that's the reason why when I was sitting there going, why aren't you guys logging on? I'm literally bored, sitting here like, please, for the love of God, somebody log on so I have somebody to talk to.
But you know, here's what's funny. I was about to log on, right?
No, you wasn't.
And we're sitting here.
You're getting
No.
progressively later and later each time.
No, This time,
Yes.
and my wife can testify to this. We were sitting here. I was about to log on, and my doorbell rings, and the guy standing there is like, "Yeah, I'm here to buy the sauce," and I'm like, "Dude, are
This
you back?"
picture he's
It
putting
was
down
like
there.
it was like a drug deal. Like, yeah, I'm here for the sauce. I need the sauce.
Hey, Mark, ask that guy to uncover his arm so I can see his shirt. Say, hey, look, I want to just say it nonchalantly. Say, hey, my boyfriend wants to see your shirt.
Oh no!
No, let's not.
Oh no, that is definitely an NWO shirt.
And that is a big dude.
Hold up, what?
Holy hell.
Yeah.
He's resting like
Listen.
half his body on it.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
Jesus!
Oh boy.
Oh,
I swear
my
to God, Mark is gonna get his ass beat.
We're going to get our asses beat by proxy.
Yeah.
Mark, I
Mark's
hope you
gonna
got.
come to everybody's city and whoop everybody's butt. Like, no, this is your portion of the ass whooping. Here.
Well, to be honest, nobody's actually contributed but me.
Oh, my God.
man.
Did he just do the Father, Son, Holy Ghost?
Maybe
Yes,
he's about
he
to
did.
take off.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh. So listen, tell me, guys, what's a good holiday drink
Yes, let's
that's
get
a
back on track.
tradition for you guys? What's a good holiday drink?
That was just I don't know if any of you guys have had the chance.
I've actually
The bad
seen
thing
that. I've
is
not had
that
it.
what you have to do with that is you're actually supposed to heat it up, and when you heat
Yeah.
it up, it burns out the alcohol. So it's really not.
So I'll warm it in a sake flask.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's like a baby bottle.
Yeah, like the ceramic.
Put a baby bottle. Just say baby bottle out loud.
It's not a baby bottle; it's a sake flask. But if you want to go that way, Jordy, that's fine.
You're calling it a sucky glass. That's the same thing.
No,
Sake.
sake.
Oh,
Sake.
sake. See, this is the reason why we need subtitles.
No, everybody understood it except for you.
Yeah,
I know what he said.
Oh Lord, look at that.
Oh, wow, he's got the phone really over there.
Dude, I feel like we're going to hell now, so we got to stop.
Oh
Mark.
no. Listen, it's gonna be first class for every last one of us, for sure.
So
Driving
actually,
the bus.
really, if you're talking about a holiday drink, I mean, generally I'll go and drink like I normally do. I'll drink something neat, or I'll stick to the classics. I'll plan on get everything I need to make a really good, true old fashioned with the Demerara sugar and mixing it in the glass with the orange. But this thing
Do you put the cinnamon sticks in it?
night,
Do you put the cinnamon sticks in it?
in an old fashioned.
Well, I am reading about how to make an old fashioned that's apple cider, and they recommend
No,
you
this
use
one I didn't do cinnamon sticks.
See, what we need is Jack Frost on here because it says half a cube of ice. Obviously, we want to have clear ice. 2/3 apple cider, 2 ounces of whiskey, which translates to us a full 3-ounce glass.
Right.
2 dashes of bitters, and then you have the apple slices, garnished with a cinnamon stick, and you're good to go. Rock it out. Takes 5 minutes to make. I don't think it takes 5 minutes to make if you already have it all together.
Nice.
Sounds good. And I the reason I chose this is because if I spice it, is that it will mix well with a lot of the spice notes that you get out of some bourbons.
Yeah.
If you find the right bourbon you're getting those good baking spices from, the cider old fashioned, which is what I'm drinking tonight, Billy. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
But that could be my holiday drink this season.
Hey, real quick before we move on to other people and their drinks. Hey, Mark, you need to get that guy to sign a that we can use his likeness and image on our site. Moving on to Billy. Just have him sign a napkin. Just say, hey, look, I think you look like Biggie Smalls. Are you Biggie? And just have him sign it.
No,
Don't do that, please.
no.
You for sure gonna get him beat up.
First of all, I love Biggie.
All right, listen, I like Biggie too, but everybody know Biggie's dead, so don't ask that guy if he's Biggie.
First of all, there's no definitive proof of that. Just because I have a corpse does not mean that's him. And DNA samples
Right.
and blood
That's
and
right.
relatives have said it's him.
That's right. That's right because Biggie,
And he had 2 holes in him.
Elvis, and Pac, and Michael Jackson are all.
And
Oh,
Elvis-
Michael Jackson's dead.
Elvis is
he's
still
dead.
alive too, man.
Yeah, Elvis is definitely alive for sure.
I don't know. Elvis would be like 105 right now, so he may be really dead. All right, but there's no way I'm gonna believe Tupac and Biggie are dead. All right, Tupac is still making albums. Like they're like, hey, we found some of his mix tracks from 2020. Let's put them in. I'm like, dude, he's been dead for like 10 years. How's that even possible? We just found them. They were in a vault. I'm like, you're telling me he had a vault?
Hey,
Get past the
listen,
drugs and gold first. How'd you get there?
listen. They say Prince got enough music for 100 years.
Now, Prince, oh my God. By the way, I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but Prince may be one of the best musicians of all
Ever.
time.
For sure.
All time.
Absolutely. The thing about Prince is he's one of the few people who is actually a musician and an entertainer. Because
Well, his first
sometimes
album, he recorded every instrument.
Mhm. Yeah,
And when I read about that, I was like, what?
and he's self-taught.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
most of the great musicians, to include Mozart, are all self-taught. Myself, though I would not put myself in the I put myself close to great musicians. I'm self-taught. I'm just playing. I'm nowhere close to those guys.
But for a holiday drink, I think I'm gonna stick to like the old fashioned as well. I think I'm gonna try something like what Rob has. Um, you know, here there's another place called Ball and Chain, and what they do with the drinks, they serve like little pastelitos on top of the drink. So it's pretty interesting. That's the way they serve their old fashions and things like that. A mojito is a summertime drink, so I wouldn't label that as a holiday drink.
Yeah, but you're down in
Um,
Miami, so it's like summer still.
yeah, it doesn't ever really get cold, but like the mojito's the official drink of Miami. But like yesterday, I got a Ponciana for the wife, a real big one, nice one from Costco. So now I'm starting to get into the holidays. Our neighbors started putting up their little reindeers out front, and I'm like, people are just forgetting about Thanksgiving, huh? We just gonna
First of all,
skip it.
it's 2020. We're already doing the same thing here. I decorated the upstairs. That's the reason why I had pulled all those bottles out of and put them on the dining room, our formal dining room table, is that I was cleaning out and dusting and all that, and I had put a porcelain Christmas tree up there. And my wife got home. She's like, "That looks really nice. You need to put Christmas lights in there." I'm like, on it.
So
You were
that's what
so
we're
much
doing
smarter
this
than me.
year, huh?
What's that?
I say that's what we're doing this year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, we don't have. I mean, come on. I'm 45. The rest of us are old as hell too. Um, have we ever lived through a year like this?
No,
And we haven't made it through the year yet. It could still turn out bad for us. Like Mark, it's likely the plane went down.
Oh man!
Don't say that.
No.
We know it didn't go down.
Well, listen,
But there
that
might
guy
have been but here's an example. Like when I used to fly, we used to have to be weighed once a week to make sure that we were height weight proportionate for flying and stuff like that. Now this is a helicopter, it's a little bit different, and also an aircraft, but we still had to weigh ourselves all the time. What if that guy lied? He's like, I weighed 230.
Listen, if that guy's 230, I'm a 25-year-old white guy.
Well, I've heard you speak, and there's part of me that believes that you are a 25-year-old white guy with a big truck and Trump flags. I'm just saying. I mean,
This is definitely a cable show for sure.
up until last week when Jack Frost said said something that was just like, what? I was looking at my phone. I was sitting here. I was like, did he just say this guy had a 40 and and Hennessy is who probably stealing his packages? And I'm like, that's one, probably not even close to accurate, but that sounds racist.
Cultural misappropriation, I think it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like using proper pronouns.
Can I just say, I've just finished my first and only glass of that for tonight, and what it reminds me of is one of the Old Foresters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
Okay.
good. I like Old Forester.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that. So like, there's a bourbon memory kind of thing. Closest thing I can remember tasting before.
So you have an Old Forester taste. Like which one? Like the Statesman or the 1920, 1910?
More like the Prohibition ones, yeah.
Okay, cool.
1920. That's a good one.
That's a really
I've
good
got
One
one.
of my favorites.
Yeah,
I've got the
one of mine
Statesman
too.
there. I've got the Standard there. The Standard I can't get away with at all, but the Statesman I do like.
I like the Statesman
Statesman is really
as well.
good too.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
introduction to Old Forester.
All right, so we're talking about we're kind of talking about holiday drinks. I have one of like my favorite all-time Christmas movie is, as you guys can imagine, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and I have the full-size mug, glass of the moose ears and everything that I drink out of. Yeah, that I drink out of for Christmas time, and I have posted a picture before of many years ago. I prefer warm apple cider with a little bit of rum. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
My wife
That's a good one.
makes that. She heats it up, put a little rum. She makes the cider, and then you pour a little bit of rum in there, put a little cider in there. Oh my God, it's on point. With a cinnamon stick, and it's so good. So that's kind of my preference. However, this apple cider old fashioned sounds absolutely fabulous.
Nice.
Yep.
So, all right. So we know what the traditional holiday drinks are. Now, do you have that with like particularly just during that time of year, or is it particularly like with dinner or something like that, like a full hearty meal, and afterwards you're sitting maybe by a fire or sitting out on the porch with family or friends and having a drink? When is this drink normally happening?
For me, it's usually around family gathering, or so. My best friend of 40 years, me and the wife spend Christmas Day there, and we have fun with Christmas. It's just a gathering of friends who hang out, and we'll do different themes or so. And that's usually where I do it. We'll do Christmas Eve. We do the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I go in and I cook for them while they're gathering with their family. I'm working out on the deep fryer out in the garage and frying everything off and bringing it in. And that's where we usually start with our different mixed cocktails. But Christmas Day, we usually just kind of hang out with the group, and it's my second family, and her dad is really into bourbon as well. So we stick to just unadulterated on Christmas Day, the unadulterated, just a bourbon, neat, or on the rocks, or if we're finishing off whatever we're cocktail we come up from Christmas Eve. Just a great time, just relaxing, hanging out with family, and it's tough for us because my wife has worked retail for 30 years, and generally the day after Thanksgiving, she's never had off. The day after Christmas, she's never had off because big return day on the 26th, and obviously Black Friday. Probably until this year again. I think she's off one of those 2 days.
Nice.
But we don't get the time like we'd like to go down and see the kids, our kids in Atlanta. So we get to hang out with our best friends and just be family, and everybody drinks bourbon, and it's a great time.
You know, it's funny, Rob, the way you described that. I could see that it sounds like a Christmas movie. You know, like I could see it, and
Yeah.
that seems like a good time. What about you, Mel? What do you feel like? When do most of your drinking happen during these times of year?
Usually, we, Maya is older now, so she will turn 13 in December. So it's not kind of some of the magic's gone around the Christmas time, because it used to be kind of we'll exchange gifts at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve, one gift, and it's usually pajamas or something for that night, for the Christmas night. We'll get into bed, and then we'll sort out laying gifts out, and sort out things like that. Usually that's when Sharon and I will have like a glass of Baileys together or something like that. Christmas Day, we usually, all the guys in the family normally go to our local bar. So anybody that needs to travel comes and congregates around like our house, and then we go to the local bar, and we have a kind of a guys only couple of drinks, and then come back, have the lunch. Everyone goes their separate ways, and then as a family we'll have a drink on the night time.
Nice.
Other than that, there aren't any great sort of traditions as such, and this year is going to be very, very different. No one's seen anyone else. We've all been told to stay, like, keep our distances from each other. The national lockdown should hopefully end on the 2nd of December. There is a lot of confidence that will happen, but it may be extended. We don't know yet.
Wow.
We'll see what happens, and we'll make the best of what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're telling people here that you shouldn't be gathering in groups of larger than 10 people, and
yeah,
we're actually talking. I was with my friend today, and we were talking about what Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is going to look like, and she thinks that even from their family side, that we're going to pare back Christmas Eve a little bit, try and do it over have some people from 4 to 7, and then have a group from 7 to 10. So we kind of spread people, 10 people on the early group, 10 people on the second group, and try and break them all up. So
it's just going to be the three of us on Christmas Day. I mean, my oldest daughter Amy, her fiance, and my grandson. I don't know when we're going to see them. I think maybe Christmas Eve. Hopefully.
This is pretty much how I'll see my grandkids on Christmas Day, Christmas morning.
This is kind of how we're prepping for it. We're prepping for Zoom and FaceTime and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's better safe than sorry. For me and my wife, it's going to be a little difficult because she works Thanksgiving and she gets to be off on Christmas. So, like you guys mentioned, everything that's going on, I decided for Thanksgiving, I'm probably just going to sit here at the house and relax. Today, I did 2 of my families, and these are gentlemen who come and they do the lawn service in a development in which I live. And, these guys, they work out in the heat. They work almost every weekend. And, these guys were really thankful for the little gift that I gave today, So, I understand how you feel, Rob, your wife being, stuck with the holidays. So Thanksgiving, I will be here at the house by myself, just taking it easy, watching some football.
I think I was actually thinking and being inspired by what you're doing, Billy, this year for Thanksgiving, because it's just me and the wife, and I'll do a little something here, and we'll cook a little meal. But I'm probably going to go and do some volunteer work at one of the local shelters for a Thanksgiving meal in the morning.
Yeah.
Just to feel connected. And seeing as I am officially furloughed, I'm on 2 weeks vacation right now.
Okay.
And officially furloughed starting the 30th of November.
So you technically have no reason to send that bourbon to me.
So I have no reason. Yeah, but actually, when Mark gets back on, I'm going to get an address from him. So I've got 2 bottles here. And
I have Mark's address, by the way, if you need it. I'll send it to you in the chat.
Okay.
By the way, Mark had sent me that his dad likes to do the Trinidad. I'm going to say this wrong, but it's Ponche de Cream. It's an island drink that it's very similar to the American eggnog, is what he said. But that's it's specifically is a Trinidadian drink. Maybe I'm saying that right. There is dad and daddian. So, but anyway, he had said that, and I said that I would mention that on here. If you're part of the VIP chat, you would actually see the recipe. He puts that in there as well. For my family, on Christmas Eve, I always have a drink. That started from a tradition from my father. Him and his best friend, they're both deceased now, but every Christmas Eve, my parents, it's a wonder I made it as long as I did. They would get together and they would have these like New Year's Eve parties between 2 families where they would just get so liquored up, and that's what it was back then. But then as he got older, he matured into like, I'm just gonna have a drink or 2, and when I got old enough to drink, he was like, hey, you want to have a glass of whatever with me? I'm like, sure, whatever. And that's how it was. But so I always have a drink on Christmas Eve. One, just kind of reflect on where we've been so far in the 360 roughly days. Actually, it's 360 days that we've been through at that point. 59 days, 59 days that we had been to that point. And I wanted, you kind of want to reflect on it and stuff of that nature and see where you're at. And then on Christmas Day, it really comes down to whom is here. Like, I don't typically have a drink on Christmas Day, but if my father-in-law is here, if he was here, it starts like the week before. He's here like the whole week before, and he's like, hey, we gonna have a drink? I'm like, dude, it's like literally 9 a.m. I mean, if you don't have a drink, knock yourself out. I mean, I gotta work. I mean, I don't get off until like, as we get closer to the holiday. And so, we're a blended family. So for me, I'm working pretty much up till the university takes their time off, and then I have put in a week's vacation after Christmas. And obviously this year's a little bit different. My in-laws will not be coming to town because we still don't let Canadians into our country right now, or vice versa. So we won't be seeing the in-laws, and which is sad because he likes, like, it's kind of neat to buy him. Like, he'll bring me something from the border, and he's like, and he does a good job. He brings something that I'm digging or I want, and then I always go and find him like, green spot or yellow spot or something. He's a very much into the Irish whiskeys, and he's like, you got any more of that Irish whiskey? I'm like, which one? I mean, I like Irish whiskeys too, so which one you want? We can have those. And he's not much of a Scotch drinker. He does like bourbon, but he prefers Irish whiskey. And it's kind of, and to be quite honest with you, I really thoroughly enjoy drinking with my father-in-law because it reminds me a lot of drinking with my father. They both have very similar personalities, except for my father-in-law talks a lot, and my father was like I've explained this before. When he said, I love you, he's like,
yeah.
And the jaws of life to get something out of them.
Yeah, like you're dying. I need to tell you I love you. And he's like, okay, Roger that. I mean, I'm being somewhat facetious, but that is how he was. And then my father-in-law is like, hey, it's you want to talk? I'm like, it's like 5:50 in the morning. What do you want to talk about? And I'm not awake yet. I hadn't even had coffee at this point. So what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. But you want to talk? I might. All right. So it's total opposite in in who they are, but man, it's so much similar when it comes to, and I love both of them. I truly adore our times that we get to spend together with both of them. It is absolutely amazing. So, but yeah, so, and it's, to be quite honest with you, it's mostly for me outside of the apple cider. It's pretty much with the rum. It's pretty much just like bourbon as normal. That's pretty much what I prefer. I will be having on my anniversary. I will be having some Rock Hill Farm. Possibly having some Rock Hill Farm on my
Yeah.
next Monday. So I have to run it by the boss and see if she thinks that's something to celebrate. So but yeah, it's
I think that's something to celebrate, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
what, the anniversary or the other part, the
No,
doctor.
the
The
anniversary.
doctor part. The anniversary is also something to celebrate. How many years?
It's a lot.
Oh.
He's one of the family.
Wow.
No, no, no.
Ouch.
Not in the room with you right now.
Yeah, actually, that's not true. It's 5 years. 5 years.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
a good one. 5 years
Yeah.
is a good mark.
Yeah, it's like halfway to death. We're almost there.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so on that note, as Jody would always say, listen, before we close out, two things. One, listen, guys, I really, really, really enjoy our time together. It means a lot to me. The wife knows all about our foolery and stuff we get into. And secondly, listen, I need to give this beautiful young lady next to me all the credit that she deserves for helping me with this business, keeping me focused, keeping my head on straight. I would not
That's
be
an
where I
excellent
am.
point, that you have a beautiful lady set inside you and you are still able to stay focused. I don't know how you do it.
But just, even today, setting up, getting everything for this little marketplace we did here in the development, she is a key part of my success and a key part of my life. So everybody out there watching, a lot of my success is dedicated and comes straight from this young lady next to me. So
I mean, I'm
here's
with
to
you.
her.
I'm with you
Yes, sir.
because my whole doctorate success is because I'm very competitive and I don't like getting mail that says Dr. and Mr. Lamont. So I'm being absolutely facetious. We have never gotten mail that says that, but no, I mean, you make a very valid point. Having a person or a spouse in this case that is a huge supporter of your success and your ambitions and your drive makes it not even more enjoyable, but at the finish line feels like you accomplished something as a team.
Absolutely.
And
Achievement.
yeah, and so all of us are married, and all of us can probably relate to that in some aspect. And even people who aren't married that might be watching the show can look back and go, "Wow, I'd really like to have what that guy has." And I just look at him and say, "I'm sorry that you don't, and that sucks for you." But at the end of the day, it's nice to have that and have someone just to talk to and to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning because you think that because you hear the wind blowing at 45 miles an hour and you're like sitting there going, hey, the cover on the pool is going to blow off and I need your help to bring kettlebells upstairs so we can put it on the cover so it doesn't blow off. And then the rest of the day you pay for it. That's the kind of stuff that in stables love forever. And so so it is what it is. But Billy did take us to that point, and I do want to point out something to Billy. He had put a challenge on us to do something for somebody that I don't know if we'll say it's less fortunate or just be able to put out there to do something for somebody else or whatever it might be. And I did, or I am. One of my dear friends, who I will not mention her name on the show, she does watch the show. She is battling stage 4 colon cancer, and she sent me a message. She's like, "Hey, what's that bourbon that you had that time we went out to we my wife let me go on a date with her, only because, and her husband too, because my wife hates horror movies, and she was like, yeah, somebody please take this guy out on a date to where he can go get dinner and watch a horror movie together. And so we did. We went, and it was also one of my best friends to a guy named Matt Dyer. We all went together, and anyway, she was like, you ordered this drink, and I was like, I don't even remember a place where we ate at a Mexican restaurant. I don't remember them having a drink. And so it was like a Baja Fresh like type Mexican restaurant. So it wasn't like a real Mexican restaurant. And she was like, I remember you ordering this drink. And I'm like, I don't think that's accurate, but whatever. And she's like, I think it's Canadian. And so I started naming off all the Canadian drinks. And she's like, no, I think it was called Blanton's. I'm like, that's not Canadian at all. That's like, it's from Kentucky.
Not Canadian at all.
You know? And she's like, yeah, I like to have some of that for the winter. So I am giving her, she's like, where can I find that? And so I told her, and I told her the price point. I'm like, hey, why not I just give you a bottle? And she's like, well, I'll pay you for it. I'm like, no, we've been friends for a really, really long time. And I am fortunate enough to have more than one bottle of Blanton's. And so that is, I'm not a chef like Billy by any means, or Rob. But I do acquire some nice stuff sometimes when it comes to the world of bourbon. And I was like, you know what? You can have a bottle. I'll just give it to you. And that way, when you're thinking about it through Thanksgiving or Christmas, or whatever, in the holidays, and you're sitting there having a nice drink with your husband and your daughters, both of them are very beautiful young ladies, have this drink and enjoy yourself. And so that's what I'm doing. So anyhow, hopefully we're all doing that same thing and we're out there giving to the community. But it is 6:02, and we did start 2 minutes late, even though we were waiting on Billy, who obviously showed up late. And then Mark, who said by the largest person on the plane. So everybody always drink responsibly. Always be respectful to everybody, but that person, and that one individual, and always know your limits. And I really have a hard time not saying it, but you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I love you all. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Love you
good
guys.
night.
You did a great job, Jody. Great job not saying it. Congrats.
Dude, it's hard. It's hard.